Paradoxes have long fascinated thinkers, challenging our understanding of logic, reality, and the boundaries of knowledge. One of the most renowned is the liar paradox, encapsulated in the statement, "This sentence is false." If the sentence is true, then it must be false, but if it's false, then it is true, creating a loop that defies conventional logic. This paradox highlights the complexities of self-reference and has implications in fields like mathematics and computer science. Similarly, the barber paradox presents a scenario where a barber shaves all those and only those who do not shave themselves. The question arises, does the barber shave himself? If he does, he shouldn't, and if he doesn't, he should, leading to a contradiction that challenges our understanding of set theory and definitions. In the realm of physics, Schrödinger's cat illustrates quantum superposition by positing a cat that is simultaneously alive and dead until observed. This thought experiment underscores the peculiarities of quantum mechanics and the role of the observer in determining outcomes. Time travel introduces the grandfather paradox, where traveling back in time to prevent one's grandfather from meeting one's grandmother would prevent the time traveler's existence, thus negating the possibility of the time travel in the first place. This paradox questions the consistency of timelines and causality. The bootstrap paradox further complicates time travel by suggesting an object or information can exist without a clear point of origin, such as a time traveler giving Shakespeare a copy of his own works, which Shakespeare then publishes, raising the question of authorship. Zeno's paradoxes, like Achilles and the tortoise, argue that motion is an illusion by asserting that one must reach an infinite number of halfway points to reach a destination, which seems impossible, yet motion clearly occurs, challenging our understanding of infinity and continuity. The Sorite's paradox, or the paradox of the heap, questions when a collection of grains of sand becomes a heap, and at what point removing grains causes it to cease being a heap, highlighting the vagueness in language and categorization. The Ship of Theseus explores identity over time by asking whether a ship that has all its components replaced remains the same ship, and if the original parts are reassembled elsewhere, which is the true ship of Theseus? This paradox delves into the nature of identity and change. The paradox of the unexpected. Hanging involves a prisoner told he will be hanged unexpectedly in the coming week, leading him to deduce the hanging cannot occur. Yet when it does, it is a surprise, challenging our understanding of prediction and knowledge. The Raven paradox, or Hempel's paradox, posits that observing a green apple provides evidence that all ravens are black due to the logical equivalence of statements, which seems counterintuitive and questions our methods of confirmation. The omnipotence paradox asks whether an omnipotent being can create a stone so heavy that it cannot lift it, challenging the coherence of absolute power. The paradox of tolerance suggests that a society tolerant of all things must be intolerant of intolerance to maintain tolerance, presenting a dilemma in liberal societies. The paradox of choice argues that more options can lead to less satisfaction, as the burden of choice and potential regret increase, impacting consumer behavior and decision-making. The Monty Hall problem illustrates that switching choices in a game show scenario increases the probability of winning, defying intuitive reasoning, and highlighting the complexities of probability. The two envelopes paradox presents a scenario where switching envelopes seems advantageous regardless of the initial choice, leading to a paradox in expected value calculations. The paradox of the lottery involves assigning a high probability to each ticket losing, yet knowing one must win, challenging our understanding of probability and belief. The paradox of the preface acknowledges that while each statement in a book may be believed to be true, the author also believes there may be errors, highlighting the conflict between individual beliefs and collective uncertainty. The paradox of the court, or Protagoras' paradox, involves a legal dispute where a teacher agrees to be paid by a student after the student wins his first case, but the student refuses to litigate, leading to a paradox in obligations and outcomes. The paradox of the heap, similar to the Sorites paradox, questions at what point a collection ceases to be considered a heap, emphasizing the problem of vague predicates. The paradox of the arrow, another of Zeno's paradoxes, argues that an arrow in flight is at rest at every instant. Thus, motion is impossible, challenging our perception of time and movement. These are all wonderful paradoxes that I hope boggled your mind. Two now.